And welcome back, everybody, to the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. DJ Yoakley with you. This next interview is one that I've wanted to have for a very, very long time. She is one of the most powerful women in the entire Mahoning Valley. She is one of the hardest workers, without a doubt, of anybody that I've ever met. And she is taking the world by storm in her first year as the Mahoning Valley Scrappers general manager, and in her 19th year with the Scrappers, I bring in Heather Sahli. Heather, congratulations! It's long overdue. Jordan's been doing unbelievable work, and it's even greater that you get to work with him in a different capacity. But
Yes.
you finally get the shine that you deserve after all the grind, the hard work behind the scenes. You, my friend, are the shining star of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Congratulations!
Wow, thank you so much. What a welcome to your show, DJ.
19 years. 19 years. This is the 25th year for the Scrappers
Yes.
overall, and the big celebration, as we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Mhm.
How have things changed that people may or may not know about in the 19 years since you went in there bright eyed and bushy tailed, and now you're the general manager of the Scrappers? How have things changed for you?
So it has definitely changed. I mean, we opened in 99, and when I originally started, it was '01. So at that point in time, I was the box office manager. I mean, just over time, when you started then, you hardly had any online ticket sales or digital recaps for people and photos. And it just was a lot different than it is now, naturally. So, I kind of got my start there and just kind of bounced around from different department to department and earned my way up. And here I am.
So from a standpoint of getting your foot in the door, right?
Hmm.
You started there in a
Yeah.
ticket office. Did you always want to work with baseball, and why? Or is it just kind of you wanted to be in sports, or you wanted that role and it just popped up?
So I went to school for marketing. I not didn't necessarily want to work in baseball, but sports have always been an interest of mine, and I just got very lucky, and I was very fortunate to be able to join the Scrappers when I did. Because over the time from when I joined until now, it has just gotten so competitive to get in, to get entry level positions, to get internships. I would have never have gotten in if it is the way it is today at that point in time. So
I love
it's
it.
it's a lot different now.
Oh, I bet, and we're gonna get into the girl power stuff because I
Sure.
love it. I love it. But let me tell you, like, you have been in the midst of all of this. Like,
I
you have
have.
been in the grind. You've been in the channel, so to speak,
Hmm.
while the needle has moved from a boys club to the best person available, and we've seen women really take over in these roles, and the Scrappers are doing it legitimately, and they're doing it the right way, and they're putting the best people in those roles, and you are among those best people. Do you see it as being a leader of kind of that revolution and the evolution, I guess, of women in sports and women in baseball? Or is it just, hey, you're a competitor and you're willing to compete with anybody that wants that job, or wants to make things better in the Mahoning Valley?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that I'm a competitor, but I think it's truly an honor to be able to be in the position that I am today, because there are still, it's a minority as far as the females in these roles with clubs. It is definitely advanced since I started. I mean, our front office with the Scrappers, we have 8 full-time employees and 4 of us are female. So that is probably not one that is the norm, I would say, for sure. But we all work together and it's business as usual.
I love it. I absolutely love that because, talking to Jordan, it wasn't he's not hiring, and the Scrappers don't hire necessarily based on anything other than your resume and what you can
Right.
bring to the table. And I think that speaks volumes to the
Mhm.
team that you've assembled, especially, I mean, you go back a few years where COVID and the minor league baseball separation and things of that nature, then the
Yeah.
MLB draft league comes in. There were some rocky times. And I think that you can either, and this is in life, this is in business, this is whatever, but you can either embrace that journey and say, hey, we're going to fight until the last, whatever, until everything's said and done, or we're just going to give up. You and your entire team and Jordan and the entire organization fought and ended up with the MLB Draft League. Can you walk us through any of that, the conversations and kind of the feelings and emotions that you were going through during that time, and not knowing what the end result was going to be, or not even knowing where the next step on the staircase was?
Yeah, so those were crazy, crazy times. And I think that it started probably around the fall of 19. There were the rumblings about, the teams getting cut and the 120 and everything else. And so at that point in time was when we really started with the rallying and getting everybody to understand how important it was to have the scrappers here for the community, for the quality of life. Everything that we give back here and all of that. So, we started kind of campaigning around that time. And then that led into, the first of the year of 2020. And in February of 2020, we had this huge Save the Scrappers rally, and we had all kinds of support over at the Eastwood Mall. And it was fantastic event that we just kept pushing. There was not really a time to doubt anything. We just wanted to keep pushing and keep going. Like, we mean, a lot to the Mahoning Valley, and we need to be here. And we wanted as many people to hear that as possible. So right then we did that. And then I think probably 3 weeks later, pretty much everything got shut down because of COVID.
So there's a lot of people that don't know this, but you and Jordan, I've sat at the table with you and told you that the reason, one of the main reasons that YSN is even here is because of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. I remember being an eighth grader. My parents, all I wanted was Scrappers gear for Christmas. And Santa and my parents delivered of the highest level. I had the blue cap with the silver gray bill.
Yes,
And
yes.
the old school Scrappers logo with Scrappy pitching off the bump and all that stuff. Still have that. It's cut off, but I still have that to today.
And it's coming back. It's
I was
coming back this year. I
I was
told you,
just
a
gonna
little
ask you.
throwback.
Okay, so what can people expect with the 25th year and some of the retro stuff that maybe people loved with the when the Scrappers came out? Then obviously the evolution with the logo and the way this come along. What can people expect this year and some of the special things that you guys have coming out in the 25th year?
Yeah, so we have the 25th anniversary special logo design and everything. We'll have a commemorative booklet program giveaway that will highlight some of the best over the 25 years. But then as far as the merchandise goes, we are going to have some special throwback merchandise available. So we'll have the caps with the old school Scrappy Head logo on it. And then we will have some t-shirt designs that'll have the full body Scrappy pitching, which was really used, I think, just in 1999. So that'll be a nice special one. And everyone seems to remember, back in 1999, and we had CC, Sabathia there and Martinez and everything. And then they remember that logo. Those are the three things that really stick out. So we're going to have that available for fans.
And since 1999, it went from being just a baseball team to you and Jordan and the entire organization turning into almost a full event staff throughout the year. What were some of the challenges from going to be just known for baseball to having basically an event center that has a baseball field on it?
Yeah, well, we did start out Scrappers games, and it was just Scrappers games. And over the years, YSU baseball has this is their home field, so they play here. A lot of games, practicing and everything. We also have probably about 20 to 25 high school games that we host throughout the year. And then, we kind of started adding in some different events. So we have a lot of community walks, the Buddy Walk, the ASAP Walk. We've been doing those for quite some time. Movie nights, we've done some comedy acts. We'd have Jeff Dunham. We have some other things that we're looking to announce here shortly. And we also have a Wrestling Under the Stars event that we have where we put a ring out at home plate. So, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot different than baseball, but your core, processes are there for both events. And we're just trying to get as much use as we can at the ballpark and get a lot of different demographics out here, to appeal to a variety of audiences here at the ballpark while we can.
I think it's phenomenal. I think that, being able to morph, and it really is a morph
Mhm.
from being a
Yeah.
baseball team to an event center, basically,
Mhm.
without a roof, is incredible.
Sure.
The Wrestling Under the Stars I can't wait. My son is just now getting into wrestling, so you'll
He'll
probably
love
see,
it.
yeah, you'll see the Yoakleys out there, I'm sure. Um, so from a standpoint of what you guys are doing, I know jerseys, uniforms, and some of the auctions that you guys do to help out local charities and
Mhm.
nonprofits and organizations has been near and dear to your heart. Can you
Yeah.
talk about why it's so important that the scrappers are involved with these organizations, not just YSN, but the Rich Center for Autism and
Yeah.
people of that nature?
Well, this venue, a lot of people come in and out of this venue too. So it's a great place for these charities to get their name out, get their brand awareness, out at the ballpark, be able to, display their message here to a large audience at Scrappers games and everything. And for us, it's definitely given back and partnering with all of these organizations because it does mean a lot. And we can use our venue, our staff, our ballpark here as a way to help these charities and have them, help them raise money and also get their name out there and get people, into their services and everything else that they have to offer.
All right, one of the last ones I'm going to ask you just about the scrappers in general is
Mhm.
people think that the only way they can get involved with the scrappers is buy tickets. I think that is a complete fallacy.
Yeah,
You talk about host families, you talk about getting involved with sponsorships, getting involved with those jersey nights and things of that
sure.
nature. What are some of the other things that people can do and kind of double down, especially on the host families? I know that's
Mhm.
huge for the players
It
to
is.
get involved. What things can people do to get involved and be part of the scrapper family?
So they can definitely host a player, like you said. That is something that, is of extreme value to our organization, to the players, to their families, being able to open their homes for a few months over the summer. So obviously they can do that. Um, this is a great place for summer employment. So anyone, especially like high schoolers that are looking for their first jobs, it's a great avenue for them to get out there, have 40 games and be able to kind of be flexible around their schedules. So that is definitely a plus for here. We also work with some different volunteer groups at times throughout the summer. So, some groups can come out and volunteer their services here. Internships. That is a key here. We offer a lot of those for students, looking to get into the sports world. Um, Gosh, what else? So we can do fundraisers for groups. So if it's not necessarily a huge scale charity event that we have at the ballpark, we have a smaller scale fundraisers for maybe different teams looking to raise money for uniforms or whatever the case is. We can offer that and work with groups. So there's a lot of avenues.
Incredible. It's the stuff that I never even knew about. I didn't know about the fundraiser side of it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That's great. Okay, so let's take it a little bit off the field, and we're going to talk about the partnership with YSN. I
Yes.
want to know, and I want to get to know Heather Sahli a lot better. So, where originally did you come from, and how did you get to where you are today, and what was the path like? I'm sure it was all rainbows and butterflies for you, right?
Right. Right. Well, I am originally from Struthers. So born and raised here. I went to the University of Toledo and I actually had an internship in marketing research and I stayed there after graduation for a couple of years and worked there. I got hired full time. And then I kind of knew this really wasn't my thing. And I couldn't really sit in a cubicle all day long and, you know, not really get to interact with people and enjoy all the fun stuff like baseball allows. So I moved back. I moved back to Struthers. I kind of like bounced around a little bit and then I got lucky and got the scrappers position. But I'm still there, still in Struthers. I am married. I have two wonderful daughters and we're crazy with sports besides scrappers baseball.
I love it. I love it. And we see all the stuff. I mean, your office, I guess my office is starting to look a lot more like yours, guy, because
All
you
my
have,
bobbleheads.
oh my goodness. All right. So, what is your most prized possession
Oh
that you
boy.
got from the Scrappers or being a part of the Scrappers family to this point?
My most prized possession. You know, probably not one of the bobbleheads, but I do have a little plaque that's the New York Penn League Women's Executive of the Year from back in the day with the Penn League. I would say it's that. I would say it's that.
And it should be. And it should be for all the hard
Yeah.
work. And people don't realize how much work goes into a baseball game every day. So,
Yeah.
so take us through a day in the life of Heather Sahli during game day.
Oh gosh. Well, game days are crazy in itself. A lot of those are just making sure we're all situated for the games. The scripts are ready, the promotions are ready. We have whatever we need from sponsors. We have our staff all assigned and everything. We're looking at the weather a lot. So that is one of the hardest things because it's so unpredictable, of course. And you kind of have to roll with the punches with that. And it's just kind of I'm out in the ballpark a lot. I feel like I'm just bouncing all around trying to help out wherever's needed and being kind of the face at the front whenever we're opening and stuff. So but it's crazy, and you got to be able to just roll with the punches and make adjustments when needed, because it is never what you planned,
I
ever.
love it. And you always got the walkie-talkie. That the most important
Always.
part of your job is the walkie-talkie, keeping
Yes.
those batteries fresh. All right. So when you were a little girl, right? When I was a little boy, I wanted to be, a policeman, fireman, baseball player, all that stuff. When you were a little girl, what did you want to be? And did you ever have a chance to live out that dream?
So I think I wanted to be an architect for a while. Definitely didn't live out that dream. So I don't know what happened with that. And then
Well,
when I went to school, I was going for journalism for like a quarter or so. And then I'm like, no, I don't think I'm not really that good of a writer or anything. So then I switched to the marketing and business, which I think is, my cup of tea.
you've done
So
well. I could say you've
thank
done
you.
well. Now,
Thank
the
you.
architect, you've helped build the Scrappers, so
I guess
technically,
in
you're
a way.
still you're still an architect. The
Sure.
journalism thing, I can help you with anytime you want, so just let me know. But you have done a phenomenal job from a standpoint of the marketing and obviously all the other hats that you have to wear,
Thank
both
you.
promotional and and otherwise for the Scrappers. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure we waited for was to roll out the big news of the YSN and Mahoning Valley Scrappers partnered once again, which started 2 or 3 years ago, I believe.
Yes.
And it's been a phenomenal partnership. But the one thing that's been missing is the piece that you, my lady, have put into place, and that is the video aspect. This year,
Yes.
breaking news: the Mahoning Valley Scrappers and YSN. It will be true your home because you'll be able to see the Scrappers this year on YSN and hear the calls. Let's start with this. How important was it for you to make sure that people can see the Scrappers this year, and match up that audio with YSN?
It's definitely important. I mean, obviously, our partnership has been amazing over the past few years, and being able to add that into the mix is going to take us to the next level. And we're definitely looking forward to that.
I love it. All right. And we also have to reach out and let people know that, well, in previous years, Richie's been doing the Scrapper. So it's hard to get better than what
Yeah,
Richie Giuliano is.
I know.
But we all know Richie's moved south
Mhm.
and has got a great opportunity down there with the Tennessee Smokies, which leaves a void, Heather. And
I
I
know.
think that in working together, we're going to have a little bit of a tryout for the
We
next
are.
voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. So it's a TBD, to be determined, TBA, to be announced. But what do you want people to know if they want to be the voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, what they have to convey?
Well, I mean, it's it's a big deal, and to be able to get on there, be able to create excitement, also adding in whatever sponsor elements there are, and then be able to ad lib and talk about the players and kind of get to know the behind the scenes information that's interesting for everyone listening and watching along. Just being able to add all of that into the mix, create some excitement and have some fun with it.
to be able to be part of that Scrapper family. YSN Nation, it's going to be available to you. We'll be releasing that information shortly, probably the end of the week, I'm guessing,
Yes.
hopefully. And then we will have a tryout at Eastwood Field, and Heather and I and a few others will be involved in choosing the next voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. But I want to tell you how much I treasured today, how much I treasure you because of what you've done and all that you're going to do. You are one of the cornerstones of this community. Struthers is lucky to have you. Mahoning Valley Scrappers are lucky to have you, and we are certainly blessed to be able to have you part of our family as well. Heather, Sahli, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you
best
very
of luck
much.
this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it truly.